Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use a double screen board to split your bees. It's almost like a walk away, not quite, but in this case it really is kind of a walk away. The bees are flying, the birds are singing, it's a wet morning, the bees are just having a time of it. It started at 8 o'clock, that's when I got out here. They were there before that, I suspect. They're up early, earlier than me. Let's get on with this video. Today I thought I'd do a video on splitting a beehive with a double screen board. First thing we have here, this is the double screen board. It's got a screen on this side and a screen on this side. Now, I've got 8 frame hives here that I just had set up, and this is a 10 frame double screen board. But we'll make it work for today for demonstration purposes. Gonna do a double screen board split for sure within the next couple weeks with live bees, so watch for that video. For now, we're just going to demonstrate how you can do it and make it real simple and a walk-away split. In this case, I've got 2 boxes here. One of them has frames in it, the other one's empty. So what I'm going to do is pretend that this one here is full of bees and full of frames, lots of brood. This one has 4 frames of brood in it. It's overflowing with bees. So we want to split it before they swarm. Now you could just make this a double deep 8 frame if you wanted. But in our case, we want to increase our number of beehives we have. So I'll show you how to do that now. First we'll take the lid off. Of course we got the smoker. We got a bee suit on, and we've smoked the bees. We're ready to go. The bees are actually flying out of here because it's a warm day, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, say. Not like today where it's kind of, well, it's sunny, but the sun hasn't hit here. And it's a little cool, probably 50 degrees. In our pretending, get our hive tool, and look at that, there's a wasp there. It's a dead wasp. Oops. Bye, wasp. In this hive I have 8 frames, so I'm going to take 4 of them and move it above the screen board. We go in here and pull each frame out. This one has bees on it, so we're just going to set it aside. It's got some honey on it. Then we got another one, and yeah, this one's got more bees and a few brood on it. And these 2 have lots of brood. They're kind of stuck in there from propolis. So we want to set that aside. We want to set it somewhere we're not going to squash our queen. We don't know where she's at. So now we have this all set up here with 4 frames in here. So we take those, we know the brood's there, we've seen it, and we move them to the center. Then we take some other frames and say we had 4. I'm just getting 2 here, but if we had 4, we put 2 on each side. That would be drawn comb if you got it. That'd be a better deal. If you don't, well, that's okay. It'll work. So we take a double screen board and we put it to the back of the hive. Now, as you notice, it overlaps, so like I said, this is a 10 frame, but for demonstration purposes, that's what we're doing. And open this other hive up. We pull 2 frames with honey and brood on it, and maybe the queen. We set them aside. I'll set them over here for now. In that case, now we take 2 more frames, hopefully some with the drawn comb on it like this one. If you don't have it, you just put foundation in it. If you got just plain foundation, you can put that to the outside and the drawn comb to the inside near the brood chamber. and you kind of center them up. Now you put 2 more on the other side. So now we have 8 frames. 4 of them have just drawn comb or empty comb, and the other 2 has 2 frames of brood and 2 frames of honey. So you got a full-size hive here. Now you take this 8 frame, it looks like a 10 frame, but let's take 8 frame and put the opening to the back, away from the entrance of the lower brood chamber that we now have. Then we take our super, our second super, and put it on top. Then we do the same thing. We take our 2 frames of brood and put them in here. Of course, we got bees flying all over the place, so we wouldn't be handling the frames like this. But in this case, we don't have bees here, so we can do this. So we have 2 frames of brood already in, and 2 frames of pollen and honey. We put those next to the brood. Now, we take some drawn comb, if we have it, and we put that on each side. And then 2 empty frames, or 2 frames of drawn comb if we have them. So now what we have essentially is 2 brood chambers, one on top of the other with a double screen board in between. At that point, you can put your lid on. Like that. So essentially what we've done, not finding the queen, we just split the hive. The queen is either in the bottom or the top. We didn't look to see. There's another way you can do it. Now if you want to introduce your own queen, then you would shake all the bees into the bottom, so that you knew all the bees were in the bottom. You put a queen excluder on that for a few days, or a day or so. At least that's what I would do. And then the next day you come back. Now you know, another way to do this is if when you open the box, you get an overflowing bunch of bees, you know your queen's in there, you pull 2 frames of brood and you put them in another box. But before you put them there, you shake all the bees back into here. Then you put a queen excluder on top of it and another box, and then you put those 2 frames of brood along with some other frames, drawn or undrawn comb, and fill the box up again. In that case, the top box will now have the queen below and all the bees. When they migrate through the queen excluder up to the top, you'll know the queen's still in the bottom. So now you can introduce your queen the next day after about 24 hours so that they know they're queenless. And do the same thing, you put the lid back on and you're done. You'll have to come back and check your queen has been released over a period of time, but that's another story. And we'll get to that another day when we put some queens in beehives. So in our second scenario, where we have the bees all on the bottom, we put the queen excluder on one day, we waited for the bees to come to the top. We know that we have bees at the top, we have bees on the bottom, but the queen's in the bottom. Now we can put the queen excluder on, same way, facing the back, and put our top hive back on. And now we've excluded the queen to the bottom. We know we can put our new queen in the top, and you make a split that way. This is probably clear as mud. If it isn't, well, we're going to go through this live with bees in a few weeks, or maybe in a few days, not sure. I got a kind of crazy schedule right now. It's keeping me pretty busy with the bees and doing other things like going to the dentist and doctors and such. Okay, so there you go. That's a double screen board the way I do it. Now, the way you do it may be different. Maybe you have 10 frame hives. In this case, I have 8 frames, but I do have mostly 10 frame hives. That's why I've only got the 10 frame double screen board. I hope this has helped you figure it out, how to do this, and I know I'll probably have to do some editing to straighten it up and maybe put some typed words in there, you know, because, yeah, I'm not necessarily clear when I'm trying to talk about this and do everything at the same time, run my microphone and get the volume up right and set the camera right and hope the sun doesn't get too bright or too dark, make some adjustments. And it takes me about, to do a 5-minute video and get it fairly decent, it takes me about 8 hours. So this is not an easy thing, but it's a fun thing, and since I'm a photographer, I like doing it. Video's new to me this last several years. I've been doing some video, but really have gotten stronger at doing it the last 6 months. And now I'm over 500 subscribers at YouTube, and I'm shooting for 1,000, and I need that watch time. So watch the whole thing if you can. You might find something there that you didn't think about before. In the meantime, just enjoy the beautiful day we have. Thank you.